Welcome to Real Men Eat Plants, the podcast that challenges the stereotype that a plant-based diet is only for Eve's offspring and green smoothie anarchists. We're here to show you that real men can thrive on a plant-based diet, and that it's not only good for your health, but also for the planet, animals, and most importantly, your libido. Okay, maybe your libido shouldn't be more important than the planet, but we're just being realistic here. Join us as we explore the fascinating world of plant-based living, sharing inspiring stories, exciting plant-based news, and highlighting the achievements of individuals who have embraced this empowering way of life. So grab that green smoothie and settle into your favorite spot, and let's embark on an exciting journey together. Real Men Eat Plants is your hub for inspiration, information, and connection within the vibrant world of plant-based living. And now, here's the host of Real Men Eat Plants, Shane Martin.
All right. We're just dudes talking guy talk here at Real Men Eat Plants. I am your host, Shane Martin. We're going to try to do this podcast. I'm super excited. We got some super awesome vegan guys here. We're going to dive into a topic that I think hits close to home. But at first, I thought what we would do, guys, is just kind of go around the horn, introduce ourselves, maybe tell how long you've been vegan, and where you are located. And so to keep it rolling, I'm going to start with the first name so everybody knows how they're coming in. So I'm going to start with Mitchell first.
Hey, good evening. Good. Nice to be on the show. In Charlotte, North Carolina, I've been plant-based for the last 10 years, in and out for 20 years, but last 10 years I've been plant-based. I'm a trainer here in Charlotte, physical trainer, mental trainer, health life coach. So I'm using my profession to help lead a life of plant-based and wellness. Next.
My name is Paul Chatlin. I'm from Michigan. I am the founder of the Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group, which I plug and say we're the only national support group on the planet right now, which we're proud of. I'm also the co-founder of the Sage Circle Alliance. I have been whole food, plant-based, but no oil for 12 years out of absolute necessity. Had it not been for some real health issues, I'd probably be eating food and I would be a lot bigger. But here I am 12 years later, 60 pounds lighter, and I feel great.
Awesome. Brett?
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I've been doing this thing since I was 26. My name is Brett Nyquist. I'm 34 now, so going on my 8th year of plant-based. Trying to avoid what Paul was just talking about in my later years. Hoping this pays off in the long run. I'm located in Nashville, Tennessee, but was born in Michigan, and I've been affiliated with PBNSG since 2017. So really happy to be here.
Whereabouts in Nashville are you?
We are right in Inglewood, East Nashville.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I lived in Ashland City, out west of the city, Cheatham County. Then we come to our fearless leader, the guy who supports our bad habit at Real Men Eat Plants, Mr. Bryan Dennstedt.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, Shane, on the show here. Looking forward to talking with you all tonight. Yeah, I have started Real Men Eat Plants way back when. I have to give a big shout out to Glenn Mercer. He's got some great books out there. Check them out. He couldn't be with us today, but we hope to have him on one of the shows soon enough. And I'm sort of a fractional chief technology officer by day and a plant-based eater anytime I'm eating. So love it and look forward to talking today.
Yep. You said thanks for having you. Did we really have a choice? You own the whole thing. So, I mean...
You could have said, "Hey, I got better vegans on here than me." So,
thanks for choosing me.
Yes. Well, my name is Shane Martin. I'm the host. Everybody knows my story. I went vegan over 10 years ago because I was dying. Was a 300-pound fat ass and had heart disease and high cholesterol and the whole thing. So But we good today, baby. We are good today. So just turned 50 this year, so I'm half a century, man. So, well, guys,
Congratulations.
yeah, baby. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, guys, I thought we'd get into this idea of, you know, one of the things I've shared with Bryan is, like, on my blog, Shane and Simple, you know, one thing you have to get into to make your blog grow is you have to get into SEO and learn all the ins and outs of how to get things to rank. And, you know, and I am not an analytics guy. I don't like it, but I don't have a choice. And one of the things I notice when it breaks down the percentage of subscribers and users, whether it's on Facebook, on the blog, I think it breaks down generally the people that follow my blog are 86 to 90% female, and then anywhere from 10 to 14% male. And I think that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody here can kind of attest that the idea of being vegan or plant-based has come a long way even in 10 years and is way more accessible than it was even 10 years ago. But why are we having this issue where we just can't seem to get dudes on board where, you know, I mean, and personally, I think, just from my own personal experience, I think a lot of it is the characterization of what a vegan is. I mean, for me, it was like when I first thought about this as an option, I'm like, vegans don't take baths and they eat bark all day, you know, and I don't want to be sickly and I don't want to do this. But after coming across Rip Esselstyn and T. Colin Campbell and Dr. Esselstyn and Rich Roll and seeing what these guys do, a lot of my stereotypes of what it meant to be a vegan or plant-based, even as a male, were just blown out of the water. And I told Bryan yesterday, I feel like men struggle in the world today with being vulnerable and having courage to a point to step up and say, okay, I'm going to make this change for my family. I'm going to be able to walk into the cookouts and take my salad or take my tofu or whatever. But I really feel like where I see men struggle, especially in this area, is this whole idea of just kind of getting to the point, one, of owning that there is a problem, and two, just being able to step up to the plate and go, hey, I need help, and I want to get this taken care of. So I thought that would be kind of a good topic to jump off and kind of see in your experiences just what you guys see in your own circles and in your own areas, and maybe talk about that a little bit.
Well, being in the wellness industry, and have been there. I'm 59 years of age. I've been a police officer here in Mecklenburg County, Charlotte. Played collegiate baseball. So you're going against a lot of the marketing and advertisement. So you may hear or see something talking about plants or on television, but majority of the information is going to feed what the men have to change, the fast foods, the steaks, and then you're dealing with cultural things, so biases. So in the gym, to put on muscle, I need to eat my protein, and I'm like, well, the strongest animals in the forest and in the jungle don't eat protein; they eat plants. So it's reversing or reprogramming the listener and the viewer to understand that you've been misinformed or your program needs to be shifted a little bit, and and you too can be 59, lean, fit, and healthy. That's been my interaction.
Yeah, you tackled the biggest thing. I think it's just the system, right? I mean, nothing in the major system of how our world works has been revolved around being healthy through nutrition. I mean, we've all been to our whole lives about milk and meat and, I mean, all of it. I mean, there's just, and that's the majority of stuff that people are consuming. And it takes a lot of willpower to go out and do your own research and find things on your own and get away from that space.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know what, trying to figure out what causes that willpower in some men over others.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's, I mean, there's some that's health scares, right? I mean, people go through health scares and then they're like, shoot, I gotta change what I'm doing.
You know what, Brett? Go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say the couple things that are popping in my head, guys, is the game I like to play with some of my friends is like, I made this specially for you. Yeah, I cook some meat, like, and I tell them that I try and trick them into eating it, kind of a thing. And I love to get my dad, and he says, "Oh, this is phenomenal." And then he sees me eating it. He goes, "Wait, if you're eating it, it must not have any meat in it." And I go, "Yeah, ding, 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 I got you." Again, so I don't always pull it off, but I do. But I guess that's why we try to create the 30-day challenge with Real Men Eat Plants, in the sense of like, we just want you to, you've been eating meat your whole entire life. All I want you to do is just try plant-based for 30 days and see how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a guy needs a challenge and needs to be pushed to do it and held accountable. And like, 30 days, just do it and then see how you feel. And then you can make a more well-informed decision about that. I don't know. I had a couple other thoughts, but I'll let somebody else jump in. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, it's funny. My friends are between 60 and 67 years old. That's 8 guys I hung out with, went to high school with. And guess what? 7 out of 8 of them, when we get together, because we still see each other, is half the time they're complaining about their issues or telling me what kind of drugs they're on. And, 6 out of 8 are probably on the morbidly obese side. And, I look at them sometimes and I'm like, you hear yourselves? I said, all you do are like, I said, you guys are like a bunch of bitches now. Because, all you do is complain, or you tell me what your problems are. I don't want to hear your problems. I said, here's a solution. And I say, it's me. Because 12 years ago, I was 225 pounds. I was into a lot of different fun things. I wasn't fat at all. But I lost 60 pounds, I've kept it off, and guess what happened? I could repeat what I do every day without being sore. And to me, that's the end game as you get older. Is that, did you want to wake up every day and go, oh, this hurts, or pop 6 more pills? Or do you want to feel good and take on the day? And all you have to do is give up meat and dairy. And for me, I give up oil because of heart disease issues. But give up meat and dairy. There's so, and one other thing I was going to say is 12 years ago when I started, there were 2 cookbooks. Today, there's hundreds. Mm-hmm. So you could find 10 meals to repeat every single day. And what you get if you do it, and you can batch cook, by the way, guys, it's cool. It's cool to batch cook. But if you do that, guess what? You're going to feel great as you get older.
Yeah. So, well, you know what? It's, as you throw the gauntlet down there, Paul, I kind of relate to you, Paul, because it's like I hear Bryan saying, he sneaks it in. I'm more like you. When people walk up into my house, you're going to eat what's on the table. This ain't no short order cook here, And it's like, but I'm amazed at how many people, all you got to say is there's no meat in this, and immediately they go on the defensive. Immediately. And it's like you eat salads and you eat potatoes, and I get it. Here in the South, we used lard in our potatoes growing up. So when we talk about this idea of this resistance, and I can tell you this, except for my sister-in-law, I have never had a woman, when the couples have come over to the house, or my wife and I have hung out with friends, it's always been the women go, I'll try it, I'll try it, I'll try it. It's always the men, almost 100% of the time, that throw the defenses up, and, want to make a smart-ass comment. Or, Mitchell, you're working out, you're training people. Paul, like you said, you've got your friends around you. And where is that resistance coming from? Is it pride? Is it guys just afraid to kind of take the defense down and say, hey, I'll try this?
Ego.
Yeah.
Ego. If you take that away, the E, you can go.
You know what's interesting you say that, because I get calls all the time, and people will say, I want to make this lifestyle change because of an event. And, they'll say, how do you do it? How do you do it? And the first thing I always tell them is, go see a psychologist. I never did that before until the last few years. But you need to get some honest help as to how you're going to make this lifestyle change happen. But one thing I would say to all guys out there, and this is a fact, I did not like vegetables, okay? Now, 12 years ago, I was forced to eat them. I said to myself, I could do anything for 60 days. Mine was 60 days because I needed 60 days of bed rest. So I said, I'm going to eat all the broccoli, the peas, the beans. And I'm telling you, the first week, I absolutely hated it. But guess what happened? About 2 weeks into it, my taste buds changed. And as a result of that,
Yeah.
I can't say that beans equal a good steak or lobster, all the good stuff, but I don't hate it anymore. So that's what I would say, is just be patient, give it 14 days, your taste buds will change, but go seek some help, get some help to make this change, because it not only affects you, but affects every friend you have and your entire family when you make that change.
See, Paul, I'm like the
And
opposite
I think that's
of
a
you.
good
You
point
say
right
like it
there.
doesn't.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just was gonna make the point of, you said it doesn't beat a good steak or a lobster, where I'm like, I actually think it's different. I think plant-based eating is more flavorful than just a steak and a potato on a freaking plate. There's like so many spices and flavors going on with vegetables where it's like, I think it tastes way better than any steak I ever had, but I guess that's just me personally.
Well, I think for me,
Yeah, right, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, it was more of a texture thing than anything, because I loved sandwiches and stuff. So, it did take me a while to I did notice the flavor profile was super broad and it was limitless what you could do. But, for me, it was more of a texture, But then when kind of what Rich just said, when I realized you're ripping into tendons and muscles, I'd never really thought about that. And then that's what kind of made me go, okay, well, that is kind of not
Have
cool.
you tried,
good,
though,
but...
the Shane and Simple Lion's Mane mushroom sandwich, though? That was phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich and I have this feud with my banana bread. He goes, I made your banana bread last night. And I go, oh, what'd you think? He goes, it was good. And I went, what? That's the most popular recipe on my blog. Well, I needed a little cinnamon. I'm like, bro, get creative. It's just a base, dude. It's like, you're like all these Karens that are always, it was too sweet. And I'm like, well, cut back on the maple syrup. Like, I don't have to hold your hand through this. So
Make
anyway.
a table of tea. Yeah.
Oh, man, dude.
Yeah. But so kind of going back, Paul, to what you said, while ago, so I think that kind of segues into what we're talking about is, getting guys on board. I feel like for guys to kind of let their guard down and to kind of break into that idea of being authentic, guys are the world's worst. They say guys are the world's worst for wanting to ask directions and ask for help. It's this thing that I'm going to kind of shoulder the load. I'm going to kind of do it even to my own detriment. And I was fortunate enough to have people around me for the last 15 years, because I'm naturally a very defensive person. And I was fortunate enough to have guys come around me to just say, hey, dude, you're being a real douche right now. You need to kind of humble yourself. Let me help you, regardless of whatever it is. And whether it's, dealing with something in your marriage, dealing with something with your friends, learning how to handle conflict in a good way, but really humbling yourself and asking for help, advice, wisdom. That's how you grow. And, I think because one of the things that really impacted my journey was community. And really just saying, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to do this and how to learn to eat again and how to learn to cook and things like that. And so for me, I feel like that's something that's missing in a lot of guys' lives, is a strong community, a brotherhood of guys just kind of rallying around. And I think that just stems from guys are just kind of not wanting to kind of strip it down and bear it and say, here I am, weak spots and all. I mean, I just kind of love to hear y'all, chime in on that, because I see that on a daily basis, just with friends I have.
And I think that's a great thing to note. So if you're listening to this podcast, it's the Real Many Plants podcast, and most likely you're already vegan. And thank you for listening and hanging out with us and just helping us unpack this. But if you're listening to this and you're not plant-based yet, it's probably because your girlfriend or your wife or somebody pushed you to listen to 6 guys talk about this topic for a few minutes. So thank you for listening to that. But that's why we pulled together this nice, diverse audience here on so many levels, because we've got Paul, who leads the plant-based nutrition support group. So if you haven't joined the Real Many Plants nutrition support group, we just had our first meeting last week. It was great, and we encourage more men to come to that and get that community and stuff. If you haven't tried our 30-day challenge because you're deciding on plant-based, do that. But, just get involved in realmeneatplants.com, and I don't know, I'm going to keep plugging our own website here where I can. So, Paul, what would you add to building a community? You've been doing a little bit longer than me.
Well, the one thing I was going to say is, my big issue is always my standard line to anybody who asks, Paul, how you feeling? I'm fine. I always tell people, it doesn't matter. I might not be fine, but that's my standard line. I think most guys do that all the time. They never want to admit, except my 7 buddies. They'll tell me all day long what hurts, But the fact is that on a community standpoint, you're absolutely right. I mean, generally speaking, guys will consider making a change due to a health issue. It has to be, and it's after they've gone through pills or procedures. It's like the last thing they'll do. It's funny. You would think that they before they would have a procedure done, a cut, a surgery, they would say, I'm going to try a lifestyle change because I sure don't. Okay, that was me. Bottom line, I was there. I was on a gurney being wheeled in. Doctor, miracle, says, you got a choice. We're going to wheel you in for quadruple bypass surgery, or I've only offered this to 2 people in 20 years. How about if you make a lifestyle change? I said, I'll make the lifestyle change. Didn't know what a lifestyle change was, by the way. Had no clue, okay? I just knew I didn't want to do the surgery. Why do so many guys want to get cut up when they just have to change what they frickin' eat every day? And by the way, okay, all guys, listen up. I still have oatmeal in the morning with fruit. That's a man's meal. That's easy peasy. That's easy. I have a big salad with beans. Every guy likes beans, right? It's the dinner that's the challenge, but it's not a challenge anymore because you got so many choices to choose from. So again, I just say, because I'm a lazy cook. I'm a lazy poor cook at times. I found 10 meals and I just batch cook them and I repeat them. If I showed you my freezer, I got like 20 packages of food and I just pick one of them and that's what I eat. And when I feel full, I don't think about it after I feel full. That was my whole big thing. It was always, in the old days, I needed to get where my belt buckle. I had to loosen my belt buckle. Then I knew I was done. Now I know how that feels when I'm full, and it could be plant-based full. Oh, by the way, you could eat as much as you want if it's not meat or dairy. Eat as many vegetables. Try getting full on vegetables. Not easy, okay? But I think that's the big thing. I think the thing is guys always wait till it's the last choice in their life, and really it should be one of their first choices. So man the fuck up. Try that first.
What's your thoughts, Mitch, from a training perspective?
Well, look at food as fuel. Instead of seeing food as food, see it as a fuel. How much energy do you need to get through the day or to do your task? So when I'm looking at fuel, I'm switching my mindset, like I said, behavioral. I'm looking at a situation where it's fuel for me. Like, would you put unleaded fuel in your regular gas tank? Or, unleaded with diesel. And I tell that all the time. Would you put diesel in your tank if the only fuel at the gas station was diesel and you need unleaded? They say no. I said, why not? Because it'll mess up my car. I said, how do you know? Have you tried it? No. So why don't you try it? No, I'm not going to do it. So why would you do it to your body? You know what the fried food is doing to your body. You know what the other foods are doing to your body. And you'll do it to your body, and you have one body. I've had 6 cars. I can replace that car. I can't replace the body. So I try to share from a common sense or sensible mindset. Like, you're doing it, you can replace that vehicle, but you would never put diesel fuel in your unleaded tank, but you'll put anything in your body. It just makes me go, really? Okay, tell me how that's going to work out. So
yeah,
fuel instead of food.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I had a friend that basically said the same thing, Mitchell, that he was training for an Ironman, but he did triathlons for a while. And he said he had to get to a point where he looked at food like medicine. He said, you don't take pills. You don't just take pills by the handful, And so if you're sick, you take something to get well. It's not. So he said he had to look at food like medicine. He wasn't going to just take medicine 24 hours a day in the same way. He was going to fuel his body, fuel it with the right things, and then, use it to accomplish a task. And that doesn't mean we can't have a birthday or a holiday or something like that.
Right.
The problem is that everybody, especially in modern times, has made every day their birthday and every day Thanksgiving here, in the last
birthday. It's birth month. Come on.
Birth lifestyle. I mean, so, and that's probably a good place for a commercial break, don't you think, Bryan? If we're talking about fuel and food. Today's episode is brought to you by ShaneandSimple.com. It is your one-stop destination for plant-based recipes that are delicious, and they are as easy as they are healthy. You can discover a world of flavor with simple step-by-step recipes that make going plant-based a breeze. From hearty mains to delectable desserts, Shane and Simple has it all. So you can join the vibrant community. It's completely free. There is no charge. You just sign up. Get emails telling you, hey, new recipe is out here. It's awesome, and it's going to help you get well. So savor every bite on your plant-based journey. Shane and Simple, it's where taste meets simplicity. So visit us today at ShaneandSimple.com because eating plant-based has never been this easy or delicious. It doesn't suck to be healthy. All right.
Seems like you've done that before. That's pretty convincing.
Actually, no. I just had chat.
I'm in.
It just rolls right off the tongue, I just, boom, think about it, and it comes to me. And
that banana bread, too. Whew.
Ooh, yeah. If you put a little cinnamon in it for Rich. Yes. So, kind of going into this idea of fueling and everything, and kind of coming back to the initial task at hand. We talk about, I do see where guys are like, I'm just who I am. I don't want to change. It's blah, 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 this. There's always an excuse. But I still feel like there's this, for men, for the most part, especially here in the Deep South, where there's this blue-collar work ethic, like pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. I mean, there are more options than there probably were 5 years ago. But this idea of, I mean, it's like my brother made a joke one time. He said, if you're 35 and haven't had at least 2 stents put in, something's wrong with you, And so, I mean, especially around here. Yeah. And so.
That's wild.
But that's kind of the thought.
Well, one thing I'd throw out there is, as a guy, I don't kind of share my health issues with anybody, barely my wife at times. I mean, I don't talk about it. But who I do talk about it is my doctor. But if my doctor, which my doctor didn't until I fired him, would not share with me the benefits of nutrition before pills or procedures, then that's the problem. So to me, I think for guys, one of the biggest issues is that the medical industry, the doctors they go to, would rather write you a script and do a procedure than say, what do you eat? If they were to learn about the benefits of nutrition and ask that question before anything else, there would be a world of change, because we look at doctors like we do priests. Like we revere them. Whatever they tell us to do, we try it. If it doesn't work, they're the ones who get to screw up a bunch of times until they get it right. Anybody else, we'd fire. We'd get rid of them. So to me, I think that's the thing. You got to challenge your doctor and say, hey, listen, I'm not feeling good. This is what I want. Is there something I could do from a food standpoint as opposed to you writing me another script?
Yeah, and in order to do that, you have to prioritize your health. And I think that the world we live in, I mean, my age, you work your ass off, and then you got so much going on, and you just don't care about feeling like crap. Me, personally, I was sick of feeling like crap, and I would do anything to feel better. And when I went to my doctor and anything he gave me wasn't working, I then took that in my own hands. I did the research. I watched documentaries, and I said, I'm going to eat better. That seems freaking like a no-brainer. Once I ate better, I felt better, and it was like, I'm never turning back. I want to feel good. Right. Why would you want to feel like crap?
No, but I mean, that's the beautiful thing of the internet. I mean, like today I was looking at, I hurt my knee. Okay, not bitching, guys, not bitching. But I wanted to know if it was an ACL, MCL, lateral, whatever it was. Okay, the point being is that there's so much information. Yeah, you got to sift through it. But the fact is that all that information, cooking, problems, it's all there. You just invest in yourself. That's all. Look into it.
That's another thing too, Paul, is you keep saying not bitching, not bitching. No, men need to bitch more. We need to talk about our issues more, because if we keep burying this crap, we're never going to get anywhere. And that's
kind
of bringing it into my personal.
Yeah.
Well, my personal experience, right? When I went plant-based and I started to do yoga and all that stuff, all the men around me thought of me as weak. I'm girly. I'm weak. And that mindset is like, okay, maybe more females do that kind of stuff, but why is that wrong? What is wrong with females? I think they're smarter.
They're smarter
right?
than us.
Come on,
they are
they're
smarter than us.
Yeah, so that was kind of like, okay, so you're associating that with, it just didn't make any sense to me.
So
well,
being
and
a golfer,
think,
a lot of the guys. I started on the golf.
Go ahead, Mitchell.
Your peer pressure or your peers. So I shot a great score, and they sent out the scores. They say, "Oh, we got to start eating plant-based diets because you want to hit a good score." Yes. So when you're displaying something that is envious by others, that's what's going to get them to look at you more. I shot another good score. Mitch got another good score. We need to start eating plant-based meal plans. They're joking, but they're mentioning it. So even in that circle of males, about 60 golfers, they get to read, Mitch doesn't eat meat. He looks different. He's playing different. He's hitting it consistent, blah, blah, blah. So it's a lifestyle that is going to attract those who are fearful of trying it to want to probably learn more about it before they try it. It's sport.
And I think every issue, when it all comes back, ain't nothing going to make you feel emasculated as when you can't please your woman. And, I'm like, when I hear guys telling me literally, they're in their early 40s having prostate troubles, I'm like, that's not by accident, pal. And it's here, and it's like, yeah, we're physical every 4 to 6 weeks, and I'm like,
what?
And they're like, and then they look at me like at me like, well, you're more than that. And I'm like, bro, we're talking
that's God's
4 or
gift
5
to man.
times a
Are you
week.
kidding me? Yeah,
It's like, geez,
it's the greatest gift.
I'm like,
you
who's
ever
the
got?
man now? Who is the man now? Yes, I brag about it.
Plant lover,
So
tree hugger. Come on.
yeah.
Go hug a tree. You can't even get it up.
Yeah, that's right. Strong and stiff like that tree, baby. So that's right. So
Community. So that's based. Again, I have a joke that I share with guys to listen, or when there's a debate, say, hey, if you ever got your foreskin caught in a zipper, it's going to hurt either way. So to get it out or to put it's going to hurt. So you got to keep it, so you got to share, you get their attention, like, okay, now I got your attention, so this is why I eat what I eat, because I want to make sure I don't have incidents or accidents. So I think for us all right here, we got to loosen up. If we're loose, they're loose. Right.
Yeah.
Because we're going against too many variables that are pushing the other way of lifestyle.
Yeah,
So you
I
go,
think
listen,
it's
man.
interesting.
I don't care what matter of fact, I was playing golf today, and the guys would say to one of the guys, "Hey, man, you got your pink thong on today because you're going to hit the ball." He's like, "Man, what you talking about?" I said, "Man, the way you hit the ball, you need your pink thong." So we loosen up and we have these conversations. And so if I say eat plant-based, blah, blah, I don't want to hear that. My hood, my neighborhood, really? Nah. We don't want to. We want to hear something. Why should I? I can say, what are you doing? What makes you tick? What makes you feel comfortable? You got I have. She's younger than I. She know how to count. I'm 59. She's 32. She better know how to count. It's an age difference, but it's not age. It's performance. It's maturity. It's what you bring to the table. So if we have all this wealth of knowledge and information. Talk to someone who doesn't really care about it, seriously about it. They're gonna be like, I don't want to hear it. So how do you get to my sensible side?
Yeah, and I think, we've gone from, it's like we said earlier, the protein debate, like that used to be the thing with men. I can't get my protein. We know that's crap. It's not even worth debating anymore. It's not an issue. The science is settled, so we know that's not even an issue. And it's like you settle one argument and you look for another excuse to kind of justify the behavior. And that's what when Dr. McDougall says, well, what do you tell people who are stuck on this keto paleo? And he said, people love quote unquote science that justifies their bad behavior. And I feel like going back as men, kind of going back to the original question, we see this bigger population of women, but with men trying to get them on board, I do think it all comes back now to just the idea of vulnerability and just saying, hey, you're killing yourself, you're decreasing your longevity, you're affecting and for me, I remember my wife telling me, I'm fearful for my family because I feel like my husband's going to be gone before he's 45. And so I did this 2 weeks before my 40th birthday, and it literally saved my life. Even I saw it in my kids, just in the comments they would make, just the security they felt. And that's what I try to get across is like real men step up to the plate and do what they have to do first and foremost for those around them. And I think that's what this result. And I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like, kind of having Paul like that bravado, like you said a while ago, just stepping up and coming out and just saying, hey, this is the truth. This is the way it is. And, looking friends in the eye and saying, dude, bro, you got dicky do disease. Your stomach is hanging over where your dicky do, and it's like, you gotta get this under control, bro. I mean, and feeling free to speak in live and go, okay, let me show you how I can help you out. And, just kind of calling guys to be honest and us having courage to speak into their lives.
Hey, Shane, one thing I would always say to like my buddies, I always say, listen, like I said, I could do anything for 60 days, but I don't expect some of my friends to do it for 60, but for 30, I think anybody can do anything. Now saying that, I say to them always, hey, listen, before you start, go get a blood workup. Let's just look at the numbers because, like most people want to see those facts. So they do it. They look at all the numbers. They go plant-based for 30 days. They've lost 10, 12 pounds. They're starting to feel energetic again. Then they get their numbers again on the back end. And all of a sudden, it's like, wow. But the catch, though, is that they need a support system.
Yes.
They need their family and their friends to buy in because they will easily opt out if all of a sudden they're getting too much shit from their friends and their family. So, in my group of friends, nobody gives me crap about it because I won't hear it. I'm strong. I don't care. You can blah, blah, blah. I don't even want to. And I got rid of a couple of the friends when I got tired of hearing bitch all the time. I'm serious. I don't need them. I don't need them. I get home and I'm tired from them. I'm not tired from plant-based. So my whole point is that maybe challenge your buddies to, a 30-day. Anybody could do anything for 30 days.
Yeah. Well, and I think, I've even done it, Paul, where people have reached out to me through the blog and just for the family. I'd say, give me 7 days. I'll create the menu. I'll create your shopping list and we'll keep it super simple. And I said, all I ask is that you're honest with me after 7 days. And bar none, the ones that have done it and would go 7 days, they would go, man, I do feel a little better. I'm sleeping a little better on the back end. I'm taking bigger dumps or I'm more regular. I mean, like even in 7 days. And it's like, okay, well, let's continue. And they go, well, and it's like they get just far enough in. And then it's like, well, I'm afraid I'm going to get too far away. And it's like, okay. And then I'll literally kind of, okay, I'll go, okay, go back to your shit life then. That's fine. You want to do that? You want to feel like crap again? You want to be constipated? Sounds great to me. Go. I'm not going to force you to do this.
For sure. So it sounds like there should be a little debate off between the Real Men Eat Plants 30-day challenge and the Shane and Simple 7-day challenge.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just
Shane
saying
cooking? Is Shane doing the cooking?
Shane's starting his meal delivery service.
I'm in.
I'm looking for investors.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, this has been a great discussion, and I feel like I would love to reconvene because I think this is like an onion. Like we could keep pulling back the layers, and especially on this issue of community and vulnerability. And I think guys need to hear this. And so I feel like I hate that we're kind of towards the end of this, but I feel like we need to reconvene maybe, Bryan, and do like a part 2 and kind of continue this conversation. But guys, I really want to thank you all for jumping in and just kind of sharing your stories. And like I said, it just, we all kind of have a a different take, and we came about it different ways. But at the end of the day, what we all are here about is like, this is what we all say is that this is without a doubt, this lifestyle has changed our lives for the better. There's been no downside to it.
Hey,
That's
Shane, can I leave you guys with the funniest joke for a short joke?
Sure. Let's end on a dad joke.
All right, here we go. Why the dad comment?
You know it's a
I don't know. We just
it's
No,
coming
look,
from
I
you.
got 5 kids, man.
I was toying with two things. I wanted to tell everybody how much I care about Brett because he's like a son to me. So like that was a dad thing. So okay, here we go.
Okay.
If you really want to know who loves you, put your wife and your dog in the trunk for about 3 hours, and then open up the trunk and see who misses you, who loves you. Dad joke.
Well, if you're plant-based and you're got an Eiffel Tower, your wife's going to love you, so.
That's for sure.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, you've reached the end of another enlightening episode of Real Men Eat Plants. We've revved up the man machine and explored the thrilling world of veggies. Remember, guys, flexing your manhood isn't about the size of the steak on your plate, but the strength of sprouts in your salad bowl. For those eager to continue their journey towards plant-powered masculinity, buckle up and head over to our website at realmeneatplants.com. There, you'll unlock access to exclusive content, mouth-watering recipes, and advice from the plant-based powerhouses themselves. Oh, and don't forget to follow us on social media for your daily dose of inspiration and connect with a community of men just like you who have joined the Plant Parade. Remember, it's not just about becoming stronger, healthier, and more vibrant. You're also becoming an eco-warrior, playing a vital role in the wellness of our planet. We appreciate your support and can't wait to catch up with you in the next episode. Until then, keep fueling your manhood with Mother Nature's pantry. And remember, with a sprig of humor, Real Men Eat Plants will be rooting for you until we meet again.